Welcome back to the Clerc podcast show. Just kind of stopped there for a second. Had to take a deep breath. We are back. Arnold Palmer, Peach Tea. Pete, what do you think?
Haven't tried it yet.
Peter Ignaszewski, everybody. He is back on the podcast.
Get him a tea.
When was the last time you were on, Pete? It's been a while. Halloween?
No, it hasn't been that long.
No, we talked about seances with Pete downstairs.
Oh, yeah, Adrian. Yeah. That was like 2 episodes ago, and I already forgot Peter was on the podcast. My bad. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was pretty fun. Good to have Adrian on, and I don't know, we didn't do any like paranormal stuff that time, Pete, but you got to go out in the graveyard with Tom Urban, so you did get some paranormal stuff.
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys were telling me about that.
Maybe we got to get Tom Urban back on. Maybe a future. We're always looking for future people to be on.
A one-on-one with Pete.
Oh, I don't think Pete ever wanted to come back on after that.
No.
He was pretty scared out there in the cemetery.
Yeah.
So Peter Ignaszewski back on, big producer for the podcast. He will be talking this time. Hopefully, Pete, you can talk a little bit and give us some Peter.
I'll give you some feedback.
Peter. I was trying to think of a word. You know,
No,
Bushisms or something.
Yeah,
Peterisms. Peterisms. That's bad. I'm sorry, people. All right, Damon Weinandt back, co-host.
Sorry.
Great to have you on
about
here.
to clap for yourself.
Yeah, all right. Give a round of applause. Damon Weinandt here. Great to have you back, Damon. And you were talking about Arnold Palmer too, because we just have this in here so prominently. It's like a sponsorship, although we're not getting paid. Arizona.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer.
You have to I was telling you, you got to get the jugs, the big jugs.
Oh yeah. I feel like you cannot drink Arnold Palmer unless it's out of a can. I can't drink the bottles of they sell like the the bottles of Arnold Palmer. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm weird.
I get it. Like
you have to have it. I taste a certain way out of a can. That's just my.
Do you think Arnold
opinion.
Palmer's ever golfed? You guys just got back from golfing?
Oh, I don't know.
No way.
Just a legendary golfer. But
It's more of a recent.
Yeah,
recent growing sport.
Yeah. I don't know, but Damon Weinandt, thank you for coming back on. Great to have you. And the other co-host, Adam Farag, officially promoted. It looks like now.
There we go.
Adam Farag,
there we go.
Co-host
I was gonna start
here.
my own.
Yeah.
Slow clap. Please clap.
Yeah. Slow clap. There we go. Golf clap. There we go.
Gotta make a frolf clap.
Yeah, there we go. Well, great to have you too, Adam, back on the show. And this week,
Frolf, I forgot the R. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's frolf, not falf.
Yep. Why is it Galby? Like it could be Galby, like golf and frisbee.
But it's frisbee golf.
I don't know. It could be.
I mean, technically it's disc golf, so
Gisby,
frolf is like a double sling.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, everyone just turned off. We better get going.
Yeah. Everyone's wondering what this podcast is about, and that is a good question because it was kind of a last minute ordeal here. You know, I knew I was coming back to Wyndham today, and I just messaged like everyone I could, and everyone's already busy. You know, summer plans, everyone's doing stuff. So I just figured we get the boys here tonight, and we can just kind of go through whatever. I got some topics on my phone. We could kind of just talk about current events, whatever. It doesn't really matter wherever we go. But to kind of begin, on the way, well, let's see. This morning, I went to Mountain Lake, and I filmed at the school because they're tearing it down in the 1904 building. They're tearing that down for people that don't know. So I went there and I got footage of it. After that, I had to go down to Iowa for a company, and I'm by Blue Earth, getting on like 90. Is that to go down to? Is that 90 going or no?
169.
90 goes east
169.
west.
Yeah, I'm on 90, taking the 169 exit to go into Blue Earth, and I'm checking to make sure I'm taking the right exit. And I swear to God, I almost died today. This is what I'm going to tell you. I almost died. There's a truck right before this happened. There's a truck right next to me, and I'm checking my phone, the directions, to make sure I'm getting off at the right exit.
Stuff?
Yeah, GPS. And I know you shouldn't be on your phone when you're driving or whatever, and this is a good example of it because I swear to God, as I looked up from my phone and I was going to take the exit, I was going like 70 miles an hour or whatever it is. It's because it's interstate. I literally saw a giant deer.
Oh, really?
Literally just run past my car. Like I caught the glimpse of it, and I was like, I like grabbed, like I was so scared, and I look behind me, and the truck is like slowed way down, and they're like everyone in the car is like leaning forward, like they couldn't believe what just happened.
Wow.
And I just got off on the exit, and everyone in the car is like looking back at me, like what is wrong with this guy? Because I literally looked up, and the deer was like, it must have been right. I must have just, if I didn't tap it. It was like inches away.
Wow.
It was one of the scariest things. And if I would have hit that deer, I don't know what would have happened, but I feel like I would have flipped into the ditch or something.
Yeah.
Because I had one hand on the wheel. I would have hit the deer.
Going
Airbag.
70.
Does
70 miles an hour.
GPS talk to you, or do you have music going?
I have music going, and I was just making sure I was taking the right exit, and I looked down for 1 second, literally, and the deer was just.
So there's Ethan's public announcement.
Yeah, and I don't promote going on your phone at all, but if you, sometimes when you got to get directions, you have to, and so I was kind of scared about that, and I don't know, tonight could have been a lot different if I would have smoked that deer, flipped the car, and gone in the ditch. I could have got killed. You know, like you never know. So people, be careful out there on the roads because you never know.
Especially at nighttime because I was driving back to Crookston from Fargo probably a month ago with my buddy Bear. Shout out Bear. But it was nighttime. It was probably 10 o'clock, so it was dark. Can't see much. And we were literally just talking about how like deer are so bad in Minnesota, you know?
Oh yeah.
And like right after I say that, just a whole family just right across the street. I slam on the brakes, leave skid marks and everything.
Really?
And me and him just look at each other. We're like,
yeah, you got to be careful. And there was one time, I don't think you were with me, Pete. It was Mason, I think. I was going down River Road, and a deer came running out, and it literally just started running alongside my car. I'm like, all right, we're going to race. So I just kind of like gunned it down. Yeah. I swear to God, this thing jumped into the side of my car, like kind of like a little...
Kind of like the Wilder Demon?
The Wilder Demon. But this time we're going side by side. Like I'm going down the road. I'm like, this thing's trying to outrun me. It's not going to happen. So I'm just going down the road, and the thing like...
Then it became personal.
The thing jumped into my car, and I thought it broke my window, but it didn't. It just ripped my mirror off.
Oh, wow.
And so I was about to flip around and go find the deer because I know he didn't die. I was about to go finish him off so that he didn't go do it to anyone else's car.
I saw an old car like with all those, you saw those little deer things that are supposed to whistle to scare the deer away. Have you heard of those?
I've heard about it.
So there's
Does
a
it
car,
work?
No. Well, I don't think. So there's a car.
It's solved. It doesn't work.
There's a car that had them all lined up on the front of their hood, just like probably like 15 of them. Like,
what do they look like? I never
like little like bullets. Like
I've only heard of them. I've only heard of them.
Yeah. Well, the joke always was, I don't know if it was my dad that would always say it, but he's like, make sure you put that on right, because you turn it around backwards, the deer are gonna run at your car.
It's like a dog whistle. They all come running. Dang. Have you ever had any deer experiences, Pete, over there? Hit any wild or demons?
I haven't hit any yet, but there's been some close calls.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Especially with trailers on, you know, pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
You know, you can't stop on
a
dime.
Yeah. Well, you'll just, if you're pulling a trailer, you're probably in a big truck.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You'll just plow right through the thing. You won't even put a dent in it.
Destroy it.
Big old Chevy truck, forget about it. Run right over it like a monster truck.
Yeah.
Ford?
No.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. We're getting into an argument about that. Yeah.
Well, anyways, there's like 10 dead raccoons between here and Mankato if you count them on your way back tonight.
I was wondering that.
There's a lot of raccoons.
Why is there so many? People are running them over?
I don't know.
Or are people going coon bashing?
On the road?
Not on the road.
Not on the road.
But there was, I remember.
Just running down Highway 60.
Yeah, I remember a while back in Windham, there was poachers going around or whatever, killing animals and throwing them on the highway.
Oh.
There was a bunch of I don't remember if it was deer or I don't remember what kind of animal it was, but they were not killed by being hit by a car. They were shot.
That's unfortunate.
And they were thrown out in the road, like people were dumping them.
Huh. I heard this the other day though, interesting fact, and I've never heard it. People call raccoons trash pandas. I thought that was
trash pandas.
Trash pandas, because they're kind of cute like pandas, and they dig through your trash.
You can have and
they have like the rings.
Yeah, they have the rings.
Yeah, they have the rings. People have pet raccoons, and I've always thought that'd be kind of fun to get a pet raccoon. Yeah. I don't know. You don't think so?
No.
Would you play with it? Like,
I think you can
feed
train
it trash.
You can train it just like a dog.
Matt's dog would love it.
Yeah. Play with it. I had something else.
Than.
I had something else pulled up on here for topics here. Oh, this is the one thing I wanted to talk about. The Mandela Effect. Because we talked about bringing this up on a podcast, and I never actually brought it up. I might have to do, or Peter, if you want to look it up on your phone while we get into the basics of it, just because I can't remember every detail. But pretty much what the Mandela Effect is. So everyone, obviously I wasn't alive, but back in the 80s, everyone thinks that they remember when Nelson Mandela died. But he didn't die until like 2016 or something, 15. Somewhere around there. Probably. So that the thing they call it the Mandela Effect is because people remember something from history, but it never happened.
Yep.
So that's the basic of the Mandela Effect, and we can bring up a couple examples. It's alternate realities. Then people bring up, is there time travelers, people messing with us, stuff like that. So I'll bring up a couple. The one that I can really remember is the Berenstain Bears. People, how do you think how do you remember it being spelled?
How to remember it being
yeah,
spelled?
like the children's books, like the Berenstain Bears. How do you remember it being spelled?
Or even pronounced.
Yeah.
Oh, Berenstain, for sure. I couldn't spell it for you. I could try.
Yeah, try to, just off of memory, like from a kid. We all read them.
I would guess, God, was this... See, now I'm overthinking it. Like, was it spelled bear as in, like, bears? Or was it just, like, B-E-R-E-N?
The Berenstain Bears.
You're not going to...
Is it Steen or Stein?
You're not going to believe this. It's neither.
No.
It was never Steen or Stein.
Here we go.
It was Berenstain Bears. Stain.
Oh.
No way.
Had an A in it. The books, look up a picture of the Berenstain Bear books, Pete. You look so enthusiastic.
It's on book. It's not. What do you mean? Look it up. It's on bookmark.
Yeah. We don't have any books in here. It's all VHS tapes. I was gonna say we could probably find it. Look at this. You're not gonna believe that. That is the cover of a Beren. Just take a look at that. That is the cover of a Berenstain Bear book. People, it's spelt like a stain.
I can picture I
can remember it as a kid. EIN.
Oh, for sure. Like
Berenstain Bears.
I can picture like this exact cover too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the A just sticks out.
And no one pronounced it Berenstain Bears.
It was always Berenstain.
Berenstain Bears. This is like one of the best examples of it. And people are saying that people were photoshopping stuff. But if you go back, get an original book. It's spelled Berenstain Bears.
We always play that game with movie actors and actresses too, because if they haven't been in anything for a long time, we're like, oh, are they still alive? And like some people swear that they're dead and they're not, like for the Mandela thing.
What do you think that people remember stuff differently than what it is?
I could definitely see it because I one of those things that I remember. I don't know if it's like exactly like correlates with it, but like when you're a kid, you know, and you're on a roller coaster.
Yep.
Like say you're on Wild Thing at Valley Fair or something like that.
Yep.
And you're on that, like you're gonna remember it in your head as like you're on like a spaceship or something just zooming around. But if you ride it now, it's just a roller coaster.
But
I don't know if that's because you're like young and it's your imagination and you just like remember it like that, or if that plays into like that, like the Mandela Effect. If that's
or if your teacher read those books to you and pronounced it that way the whole time.
True. But the thing is, there's so many people. There's so many people that, like millions of people who have, not millions maybe, but thousands of people have came out and said
it's
they
like
remember
anything
it.
like with the news nowadays or anything, like a lot of people share stuff on Facebook that is not true just because they didn't do the time to research it or, you know, things like that. You really have to take your time and your diligence to go in there and like research something before you post something or same with like that. If it's just common knowledge, if that's where one says a word and they're just going to run with it.
Yeah, true. I think what you're talking about, Adam, I think because even stuff that I remember when I was a kid, and you go back and you go somewhere you haven't been since you were a kid, you're like, God, I remember this place was way bigger. Like this place used to be huge.
Yeah.
And then you go back when you're older and you're like, this is tiny.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, everything's huge.
That's like Wind Fair because I came back and I worked at Wind Fair for a couple years.
Yeah. Well, I guess I didn't go to Wind Fair, but
neither did I.
Yeah.
It'd be like being in the elementary school. Like you go in your elementary school and you just like, oh my gosh, everything's so big. And then you go back as an adult and like the lockers are down there and the chairs are close. Obviously it's because you get older. But,
you
get taller.
Well, I think the best example was when we went back to the house we grew up in when we were younger, and we went back in and the new owners let us go in or whatever, and just walking through it, you're like, this is completely, and they might have done renovation or whatever, but all the rooms just looked so much bigger when we were younger. So I don't know if that's a Mandela effect or it's more when you grow, everything grows,
you know,
it just
we're
gets
sitting
smaller.
in the bark, and I actually was one of the last grades to go through school here, and that's a thing here too, because imagine like 20, 25 kids in this room, and back then it did. I mean, I know you're smaller, but it seemed a lot bigger.
Oh, for sure.
Now,
it seems tiny to have 25 kids in
I was thinking that same exact thing,
Yeah.
like coming in here because we were talking about how like the bark like used to be a school.
Yep.
And I'm just like looking around this class or like this, I guess classroom.
It is, yeah.
And I'm just like, how can you fit even like an average size class in here?
And they were bigger back
with
then.
a teacher, like, and a
Classes
desk
were
and the stuff around.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
It just doesn't seem plausible.
It doesn't. It doesn't seem like you could fit 30 people in here with a desk.
Oh,
and everything.
absolutely
They
not.
I mean, it was a lot more minimal back then too. They didn't have computers and everything. I mean, they had computers, but not like.
We had computers.
They were bigger too. Actually, that's a bad
adding
example.
on stones or anything.
You guys were stacking rocks on the floor.
That's what I picture at the bar, to be completely honest.
Egyptian bead calculators
but,
or whatever.
I mean, back to the third. I mean, it was school in the 30s too.
Yep.
You know, so 35,
Well, and the other thing that's kind of funny you mentioned that is because when I was doing the video at the Mountain Lake School and I was walking through all the rooms and everything, the way they built these buildings back then is it just would never happen now. Because I was at the Mountain Lake School, you go in a classroom, you know, you come in a room like this and you go in another door. There's a back closet. You go in another door, and there's a little crawl space that goes to another classroom.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like, they have rooms everywhere, and I'm just walking around. I'm like, where does this go? And you go up here, you go down.
Didn't they have a basketball court in the attic?
In the attic.
That's
yeah,
sweet.
I saw the picture on Facebook. They used to play basketball up in the attic.
Yeah.
And I could see the rafters, like, low. Like, they might have had no room to shoot. Like, it was... I mean, I don't know if they were all.
Nobody could shoot back then anyway. It was all layups.
Yeah, and well, and the ball probably weighed 400 pounds. They're chucking it around like an actual hog.
Throw it into
a
peach basket up there.
Yeah, so I think it's weird that how the what do you call it? Not what do you call it?
Architecture?
Not architecture, but like interior of buildings have changed so much. Like the Bark and the Mountain Lake School are pretty similar. You know, they were built around the same time. I don't know when this addition was done or whatever.
50 something, I think.
Yeah, the Mountain Lake, that addition was, or that's the original 1904 building. So I mean, you go even back over 100 years back then. And we're talking like completely different to how you build a building now. You would never have a bunch of rooms going into different places and stuff. So,
but sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No. Like, but the Bernstein Bears, like back to that, like that's how like vicious arguments start because people just aren't open minded. Like you have, like we could sit here and argue like what it was till you look it up and you say, oh, it was that way. And then part of you still doesn't want to believe it because you're in such a mindset and you're not willing to like open up your mind and say that, oh yeah, I guess I was wrong.
Well, the thing is, I'm still sitting here wondering how I got it wrong for so long. Like
No,
I keep I'm looking at another book here, another Bernstein Bear book, Trouble at School or whatever, and it does not look right with the A there. It doesn't even look right.
No,
it looks photoshopped.
And I think I think it's weird too because I think like Bernstein is the way that I would assume most people, if not everybody, pronounces it.
Yep.
And like I just don't understand how since it's spelled that way, like how did that become a thing for nobody to pronounce it the right way?
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like in the pronunciation's not even close.
Uh-huh.
Like Berenstain, I don't remember one person saying like that.
When you guys are typing out papers and stuff, and after your period, were you guys taught in school one space or two spaces?
Double space.
Double space? Ugh. I've gotten back to
double space.
What's it called? The writing format.
The font?
No, like the format. Like there's different MLA's double space.
Like it's pretty well accepted to do one space, but it was just put in our brain that you needed to do two.
Yeah.
So everyone's
you didn't hit the keyboard or the space twice, did you?
But in school, we were taught to hit the space twice.
Really?
You didn't have the double space feature?
Yeah, double space feature, yeah.
Well, we did our pencil. We had to count out two spots.
Yank this out here. Jeez, I just lost. My bad.
But no, it's kind of one of those things like how you're taught to do something and like how you're brought up and what you learned.
Well, it just seems like such a weird thing, and I can bring up a couple more on here too. This is the origin of it here. The first Mandela Effect is on the man himself, Nelson Mandela, a prominent South African anti-apartheid revolutionary and president from 1994 to 1999. He died on December 5th, 2013, age 95, at his home in Houghton. However, many people in different countries clearly remember Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. Some of them even claim they remember his funeral being broadcast on TV. So that's where it came from. And that does seem weird that Nelson Mandela died in 2013.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It seems like a guy that would be dead like in the 80s for sure. Like that just seems like a weird... This is another one. Billy Graham, his death... He died in 2018, yet many people, including Fiona Broom, believe he died years ago. Some people even remember the funeral in details with Bill Clinton speaking words in Graham's honor. See, I don't know much about Billy Graham. Number of U.S. states.
What?
Who's getting this one wrong? The Mandela Effect is a bit surprising. The United States of America is a federal republic consisting of 50 states, right? So why do many people recall the United States, including 51 or even 52?
They must think of like Puerto Rico.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I don't know.
Guam.
That's a weird. That's a weird one. Let me see if I can find any more on here.
Yeah, that one's kind of a stretch.
Here's a good one. "We Are the Champions" lyrics. We all know this legendary Queen song, whose final lyrics is "No time for losers, because we are the champions of the world." Is that what you guys remember? No time. Yeah.
The champions.
But in fact, there is no of the world. That's not in the song.
Huh.
The song just ends because we are the champions. And it's driving so many people crazy because they feel 100% sure that they've heard otherwise in the past.
Absolutely.
I'm 100% thinking of that in my head.
That's insane.
I'm thinking in my head right now, the end of the song.
Probably the end. It's probably in the middle of the song, I think they say that other part, but they probably don't say it at the end.
They definitely say it at some point for sure because I can very vividly like imagine that.
That is weird. I never even thought of that. If you're people listening at home, you got to think about some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely in there of the world.
It's got to be.
It's saying it's not.
I'm looking.
I'm trying to think of more examples. But
and it could have been one of those things like, I don't remember what Billy Idol song it is that everyone adds a lyric to it, even though it's not in there.
Yeah. Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh yeah.
Dun.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
It's like probably one of them. Like maybe in concert they added "Of the World" and then people remember that. I don't know, something like that. Pete, check it out.
I don't know, man. I wasn't at that concert.
I'm looking at the lyrics right now.
All right, here's another one. "Sex and the City."
Oh yeah.
But they remember it being Sex in the City.
No,
I think I always remember being Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Jif Peanut Butter. The leading peanut butter in the United States since 1981. Jif Peanut Butter is a very popular snack, but an alternate memory recalling it as Jiffy Peanut Butter is widespread. Jiffy
Pop. They probably mixed up two products. Like
no, I kind of remember
Jif and Skippy. That's probably what they're.
Or that too.
Or Jiffy Lube.
No, Skippy. I bet people are getting that. Yeah, that makes sense too. I would say that one's kind of a good one.
Yep.
Why don't you just look up the lyrics on Google?
I don't
You're
know.
watching a YouTube video?
Are you watching it all the way through, or just fast forwarding to the end?
We are the champions.
Here it is right here. We are the champions. No time for losers. It's going to be coming up right here. Because we are the champions. It should be right here.
No.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh, okay, so it's in the middle.
Sorry.
So that's why people think that it's at the end. That one makes sense.
Mystery solved.
Yep. We solved one here. We're working on all of them. Curious George's Tale. Curious George, the main protagonist of a series of popular children's books by the same name, is a little chimp monkey without a tail. Yet a lot of people claim to remember seeing him use his tail to swing from the trees.
I didn't read enough Curious George.
I do remember him having a tail. That is a weird one.
It's more of a Dr. Seuss kid.
A Mandela Effect for Star Wars fans. The iconic line in the film The Empire Strikes Back where Darth Vader tells Luke Skywalker, "No, I am your father," is very often remembered as Luke, I am your father. He doesn't say, Luke, I am your father.
I thought he did.
I
That's
thought
how
he
he tells
did
the joke.
He says, no, I am your father.
He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
No, I am your father.
No, I am your father.
Maybe.
Luke, I am your father. That is such a common
That's insane.
one.
That's
You know, and here's another one. I had this one written down as a separate thing. C-3po S Leg. I think I brought this up to you, Adam.
yeah. We talked about that.
Many fans recall C-3po being completely gold. They were surprised when they found out he had a silver leg.
Okay, I had an action figure that was an all silver C-3po, but maybe that wasn't.
That's a different
C-3PO.
character. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I just broke their
I'm
legs.
pretty sure that's a different character. I don't remember.
Mine came apart and went into like a bushel sack or something. Yeah, so I probably had the broken one.
I don't remember C-3po having a silver leg.
Well, I mean, when Anakin first got him, didn't he have to like fix him or like fix him up or put him together?
I don't remember. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah,
in a long
I
time.
think so.
I haven't watched him for a while, so any Star Wars fan don't
We need someone to check this
come
one
at
out.
me for that. But
Let me see if I can go here to the top ones quick to see what these are, and then we'll. Oscar Meyer, famous brand of hot dogs and lunch meats, is actually Oscar Meyer, although so many people remember it with an E. Meyer.
They just pronounce
It's
it
Oscar
different.
Meyer with an A. There's no
I always
E.
knew it was an A, but
Pronounce
people
it Meyer.
Meyer.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio's
Pronounce-
Oscar. Everyone thinks that Leonardo won his first Oscar in February 2016. However, some people remember the ceremony.
Who's everybody? Who's thinking
No,
about
okay.
Leo DiCaprio's
Okay, never
Oscar?
mind. No. This is saying it was long awaited when he did win his Oscar in 2016, but everyone remembers him getting it earlier.
no way. It was a running joke for the longest
Yeah,
time
it was,
that he
it
never
was.
had one.
Oh.
Yep.
It was like LeBron never winning a ring, you know?
Describe the Monopoly Man for me, Damon.
The Monopoly Man?
Yep.
A monocle.
Nope,
a
he
cane, a
never
top
has. He
hat.
doesn't have a monocle. Do you remember the Monopoly Man wearing a
Oh,
monocle?
I'm thinking of Mr. Peanut.
You're not the only.
I got the two mixed up.
Actually, he's a legume.
Yeah, he's actually a cashew.
Mr. Peanut, that is true. You're not the only one. However, if you look at him carefully, you'll realize he's not wearing a monocle. He never has.
See, my brain, I think.
Ever. He's never worn one.
I think you're right. I think you should know that from McDonald's because that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
he's
okay, he has the thing. Yeah, he's
But,
never worn a monocle.
But I think your brain crosses
Yeah.
things over too. Like it's funny, but Mr. Peanut was exactly like that. And like, maybe you think
He
of
was.
you
Top
think-
hat and everything.
Yeah.
You think of rich guys with a monocle, maybe?
That is funny. I don't know. I remember it from Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, the Monopoly guy. You don't know what I'm talking. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I haven't, not for a while.
I haven't seen it. In a
The
long
rich
time.
guy in the house, and he's wearing the monocle, and the Ace Ventura tips him over back. He's like, "You cannot pass go," and he tips him over, and his mouth is moving or whatever.
Do not pass go.
I'll put the scene up right now for people
They
who
probably
are.
put that in a goof, like on IMDb, like, oh, goof, he had a monocle.
Yeah, probably. Pikachu's tail. Fans remember Pikachu, the most iconic character of the series, having a black tip at the end of his tail. I 100%.
I know nothing about
100% know he had a black tip.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
Some of them would try.
Red next to yellow can kill a fellow.
I swear he had a black tip. He doesn't have a black tip.
I would think so for sure. Yeah,
He doesn't though. I am
Probably because his ears do.
Oh,
see?
another one.
Another brain
Oh,
skip.
jeez.
So you would assume that his tail might too.
Yep. What is Snow White Queen's phrase? Her famous phrase.
I'll get you my.
No.
That's
I'm sleeping.
When she goes up to the mirror. When she goes up to the mirror.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Nope.
Oh.
The real phrase is actually magic mirror on the wall. But everyone says mirror, mirror on the wall.
What do they say in Shrek? Or Shrek has that
Mirror,
scene
mirror
too.
on.
No.
Yeah, with Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, he says mirror, mirror.
Yeah,
They say
mirror on the wall.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s death. He was shot on April 4th, 1968. The gun was a Remington Game Master rifle owned and fired by Ray. Nevertheless, many people remember MLK being killed with another weapon, mostly a handgun or a bomb. I don't know. Disney World. Some people remember entering the Magic Kingdom through the castle. Another alternate memory is that the castle is much closer to the end of Main Street. You don't enter through a castle?
I've never been there.
Oh,
Wait,
I've been to Disney
World
World.
or Land?
World.
What? I don't remember walking through a castle.
I don't remember walking.
You walking through a gate?
I remember walking in through a castle. The gate is the castle, I thought. It's been a long time since I was a kid.
At Magic Kingdom?
Disney World.
That one's Florida,
Well,
right?
like
Disney World's Florida.
which park though? Because
or is Disneyland Florida?
No,
World.
Land is California.
Yeah.
That's
well
what
because
Here, turn them down a little bit. I don't want to clip them.
oh me.
Yeah. You're good. You don't have to talk.
Oh.
I think we're just clipping you at the end there. What were you going to say, though?
Oh no, because Disney World has like 3 or 4 different parks. Like there's Animal Kingdom.
This is the official Disney World. Like
No, but like,
Magic Kingdom, yeah, probably.
Magic Kingdom, there we go.
Entering the
That's
Magic
where the
Kingdom
castle is Magic
through the
Kingdom.
castle.
No.
It's saying you don't.
No, there's. I was
I
there.
could have sworn.
Yeah. I mean,
could've
I mean,
sworn.
you don't now because I mean, we went there 3 years ago.
How do you get into Valley Fair?
Through a brick wall. Through a dumb brick wall. Nothing cool. Here's one. One of the world's most important astronauts. And the first person to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong, died on August 25th, 2012 in Cincinnati, Ohio. However, there's a common belief he has fans?
Of course.
He'd have to. First astronaut.
His fans that he died 1 year
Yes,
later
he
in
has
2013.
He just passed away not long ago, didn't he?
Well, 2012. Do you remember it being 2013?
That's a year.
Hey, they're putting that as number one.
Yeah.
I'd put the Berenstein Bears as number one for sure. That's the one I think the most people are going to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
what?
all, everyone, yeah, most people were
Yeah. So that is the Mandela Effect, and I don't know how. I mean, it seems like we covered a couple. I think it's people's brains getting mixed up between remembering certain things and combining.
It happened live on the show.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of. I think that's what it is, though, and I feel like we got a couple figured out. Pikachu. I still do not know how to explain the Berenstein Bears one.
No,
that is a
absolutely
weird.
not.
That is a weird one for me. I can't even wrap my head around that. But another thing I was looking at. This might go into the second half because this is really interesting. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think it was Samsung. It was a big company. They made technology, AI technology, because this kind of goes in with the future episode from last week.
Check it out.
Where
I
you
know
could
what you're
take
gonna
one
talk about.
picture, you could take a single picture, and you can turn it into a moving, talking image.
It was Samsung. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
was it
saw
Samsung?
that.
Well,
Is some of the craziest.
Oh, like
stuff
3D mapping, like it.
I'll try to find the
They have, like-
post, and I'll show you, Damon. I can put it up for people who are watching. If you want to try to explain it to him, Adam.
They took like really old portraits, like painting portraits, you know, not like a regular picture, and they changed it to like make them talk and stuff, and like
It looks real.
it's unbelievably real. Like, take a look at that.
And they're in the early stages of it right now, like it's brand new technology.
yeah.
But how advanced is it going to get?
How dangerous is that?
Peter, if you want to see it too.
From a single picture, that
one picture.
that could lead
dangerous.
to some of like the biggest like I mean, obviously this whole thing is conspiracies, but like that could get like so many people in trouble
For sure.
like. Oh yeah, I
From one picture.
can't imagine.
And they already have the technology. I don't know who developed this technology, but they already have the technology to take. You can record, like if you're a well-known person like Trump, Joe Rogan, somebody who talks a lot. You know, they can take all these clips from you talking. They can submit it into this computer program, and they can literally make you could type in a phrase and it'll say it in your voice.
They better be thinking about how they're going to regulate that.
They
real
can't
quick.
regulate.
Well, they got to figure out something to do because that, or like put some pretty stiff penalties on if you're going to spread that stuff.
We're talking about getting into the fake news realm of it. How much crazy stuff could you make anybody say with now you can take their face, make their
straight
mouth
up
move.
creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could literally. I was reading one comment. They could go back in history and make someone say something and delete the rest of it, and so you would have no idea if they said it or not.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
like how is it going to? That's not an app, is it? Like that's some high tech.
No, I'm
not
guessing
gonna
it's
put
something.
like,
I don't know how it works.
I mean, now you're shooting rainbows out of your mouth and have cat ears all the time, but now you can do that stuff. So.
Oh, you're saying like a Snapchat filter kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already doing the Snapchat filters have really came far. Like the stuff they can do, like the guy to girl, girl to guy.
The gender switch thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not right now. It's at the point where it's like, it's you can tell it's fake, but who knows down the road? I mean, for how quick
it's dangerously close now for like for being an app that anybody can download.
Yep.
Like it's crazy like how close it can get.
Yeah.
It can get like pretty difficult to tell unless you're looking at it for a while.
Yep. I saw guys like doing it, making fake Tinder profiles of made themselves a girl, put them on Tinder, and there were guys swiping right to it. And I mean, you could do some crazy stuff with. I mean, if you think about it, which is horrible to think about, like you said, all conspiracy. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking down the road, what kind of historical inaccuracies you could get, because you could go say, well, he said this or he said that, and you could really get people killed over something like that.
Yep.
And
for sure.
I think what the comment was, if I remember right, it was the government could get a picture of you, and they could have a screen recording of you saying something, and they could use that as a reason to put you in jail or imprison you or something.
I'm thinking like a girlfriend making one of an ex-boyfriend and sending it to some other girl like on a text, like, here's what your boyfriend said,
Oh,
I'm a picture out, like,
I'm way more worried about like big pictures.
I mean, well, I'm not worried about it.
No,
you were talking about the government over here.
I was on the same page as you. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, if it ever did come, it could
sure.
definitely ruin a lot of stuff. I mean, we're just talking about simple things like girlfriend, boyfriend. We're talking it could wreck marriages, get people killed. I mean, there's some crazy.
Oh yeah, world leaders. You have
for sure.
Someone saying something.
Yeah, and then they send it to Kim Jong-un.
Maybe that's what's going on now.
I mean, there are people who think that we're living in a what do you call it?
Simulation.
Matrix.
Does Elon Musk? I thought Elon Musk was someone that was pushing that theory that
he's probably running it.
With the amount of money, him and Jeff Bezos are probably running an operation that Amazon and
Jeff Bezos has about half his money that he used to have.
Oh, why?
Shout out to that divorce.
Oh, the divorce.
Oh, sure.
How much did she actually get?
$35 billion or something, wasn't it?
I thought it was like 60.
Oh, might have been.
Smart woman.
It was many billions. For all future billionaires out there, make her sign a prenup.
You need a prenup. Yeah, I was saying prenuptial agreement.
To have that much money and go into a marriage like that is.
Yeah, but
foolish.
Would she have even married him if there was a prenup?
Well, I mean, I would hope so. Well, because
I mean,
she claimed that she was a big part in his development as a person. Which
get out of here.
Which I guess led to Amazon being one of the biggest companies in the world.
No way.
I mean, she didn't say that like word for word that's why Amazon is big.
Yeah.
But she did say that she helped. Or she was beneficial to Amazon.
Did it start in his garage? Did it start in his garage?
It did.
I know Apple did.
That's
I don't know about Amazon.
Amazon did start in a garage, and then it moved to a small building, and then it just. I mean, it just started off as book. It was a book website. I'm pretty sure. Like you just buy books.
Oh yeah.
And then
I remember watching a video on
it. It turned into selling other items, and then it just. I mean, it hit like rapid growth immediately, and then now Jeff Bezos is the richest guy in the world or United States. I think he might be the richest guy in the world.
I guess I don't know. Yeah.
I was just looking at something.
Is he still?
Look up how much Jeff Bezos earns every minute. I thought it was like if it was an hour or a minute, but he earns like multi-million dollars every either hour or minute. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he makes more in like an hour or a minute than average American will make in like a year. It was a crazy amount. It wasn't a year. It was. I can't. I shouldn't even talk. Get the numbers, Pete, before I say something that's not true.
What I'm thinking is, so if him and his wife got divorced and she got, I don't know if she got half right down the middle, but do you think that, she became one of the richest people in the world just by getting a divorce?
Just by getting a divorce from one of the richest people? How much does it say he makes? Pete?
I mean, chase a bag, but
$231,000 per minute.
Oh, I thought it was higher than that. I mean, that is crazy. That's a crazy amount.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People don't even make that in a year.
Yeah, I know.
2 years.
Make that in a lifetime.
Most people don't make that in a year.
Yeah.
231? No way.
No, that is unbelievable. And the average Amazon employee makes $21,000 a year. And Jeff Bezos could solve. Yeah, the average Amazon employee makes. I was reading an article, $21,000 a year.
They have great benefits, though, don't they?
$26,000. They might. I don't know.
I was just watching.
I mean, if you're getting $24,000 a year, whatever, you better be getting.
Capitalism at its
damn
finest,
good
baby.
benefits.
Yeah, something on the news about that. How when the CEOs were starting to make their big money back in the '80s, the newspapers thought they'd publish like what their salaries were, thinking that would make their they'd be like conscious about it and their salaries would go down. All it did was show what others were making, and everyone started racing up to try to amp up their CEO salaries.
What do you mean? Like they were telling them fake numbers or what?
No, the numbers are real, but it was
number.
ridiculous, like how much the CEOs are making compared to their average workers.
Oh.
And they're like, that's not right. So we'll publish what they're making. But then like all the other companies said, oh, he's making that much? Well, I need to make that much. And then they all just started like trying to jump up, and the gap just got wider and wider.
Dang.
How many Amazon employees do you think there are?
I bet I could guess, but I'm
And all
going to be way off.
All the warehouses?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with.
I'm not even gonna guess.
No, I couldn't.
I'm going to say. God, I'm just trying to go off of like another. I'm like thinking about McDonald's, how many employees there are, and then I'm thinking about.
There's no way it'd be more.
No way. McDonald's employees.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
No, I'm just kind of comparing companies. I'm just going to say 15,000.
Adam?
Oh God, I was gonna say a few thousand, like 2,000 or 3,000.
Amazon.
They need lots of packages.
I'm saying 15,000.
647,000.
Shut up.
I'm not kidding.
647,000 people work for Amazon.
I don't need you to edit
Over
out
half
that
a
2,000 or
million.
3,000 guess.
You were making that up. Where did you find that
That's what I
information?
didn't guess.
Right here.
That's what I was afraid of too.
In 2018.
That is unbelievable. 687. That's worldwide.
47,000, yeah.
647,000. That is crazy. I can't.
How many does McDonald's have?
I'm gonna guess probably. I mean, they have 36,000 plus stores around the United States.
Stores. Okay.
Stores. So I'm gonna probably guess around 400,000 employees. Maybe I'm way off. I don't know. I was way off.
I
for
feel like
Amazon.
that's still an undershot.
1.7 million.
That's I was gonna say it has to be over 1 million.
Okay. Now that when we bring up McDonald's and then Amazon doesn't sound that crazy anymore.
How about Walmart?
Huh?
Well,
my God. There's actually not. How many Walmarts do you think there are in the United
Oh
States?
boy.
There's
What, every
only
30 miles?
There's only like 3,000 Walmarts in the United States. I'm pretty sure. Look it up. How many Walmarts in the United States?
Well, how many employees first?
For Walmart?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
that's tough.
I've already lost my credibility.
I've already duped out of these two. Like I've already messed up. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go low number here. I'm gonna say like 90,000.
2.3 million.
We're editing this whole section out.
Yeah, we have to. Absolutely have to.
Cow! I mean, we are so far off. 2.3 million.
Yeah.
How many stores?
6,300.
Oh my gosh! I am
international.
Well, there's it seems like there's
international.
one within a half hour, 45 minutes, hour to every single city.
It is, and you can actually look up the farthest distance to a McDonald's from a city in the United States.
Oh, like the same
Pretty
thing.
sure there's a McDonald's every
thing.
40 or 30 miles in the United States.
That's unbelievable. I mean, I'm not doubting it at all. Unbelievable.
Yeah, go to Chicago. There's a Dunkin' Donuts like every 100
How far
feet.
did you think?
Oh yeah.
I was
Coast
gonna
too?
say like 45 miles, 50 miles. I'm probably way off.
107.
Average.
I guess.
Average?
Wait, that's as a crow flies. 145 by car.
By car. What's the farthest McDonald's?
There's some pretty sparse areas though. I guess a crow flies.
What's
awesome.
the
Montana's
town?
still a state,
What's
you
the
have to remember
town?
that.
Pete, look up the town that you have to drive the farthest to get to a McDonald's. Like, what town is the farthest away from McDonald's?
Meadow and Glad Valley.
How far?
Wait,
to where?
Where is it?
Like, it's the town that's the farthest away.
no,
from,
no, like
yeah.
I know what you're saying.
To
but
McDonald's?
To a McDonald's. Like
Yeah.
the town that's not close.
It's in Wyoming or Montana.
It's got to be.
I'm gonna say like it's not gonna be anywhere.
Or
we're thinking. It's
Alaska.
gonna be somewhere we're not thinking. It's gonna be like Alaska or something.
Not United States.
No, it's gonna be United States, but
It says between the tiny Dakotan hamlets of Meadow and Glad Valley.
Dakotan, is that what you said?
Dakotan, yeah.
so it's in
Well-
North Dakota.
Or south.
It doesn't
God,
say.
have you driven on 90 through South Dakota?
Yeah, it is brutal. It is.
Good
29?
goodness. No, 60 or 90. I mean,
29's even higher up. Isn't that going through like the Indian reservations?
Yeah.
Oh, forget about it.
29 goes
That's scary
all
out
the way
there.
to Canada.
There's some stories about driving through there at night. We could do a whole podcast on Indian reservations. They're kind of spooky out there.
Well, they have those like presidents like statues in like the middle of the woods somewhere in South Dakota, don't they?
The Black Hills.
Is it in I'm not talking about Mount Rushmore. No, but like, aren't there like statues of presidents or like other heads just like in the woods and somewhere in South Dakota?
You're thinking? Is that?
I
did
feel like
Colin show
people would know about that.
The one that Colin showed you.
I think I saw it on Twitter.
Oh, that's actually out east. If it's, I can show you what I know.
Like
if it's what you're talking about, I can show you what I'm thinking of.
I thought it was in South Dakota.
Maybe
I was just associating it with.
I have a buddy who's
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Mine's going crazy.
I will show you something if it's not what you're thinking of. This is it right here. If this is that what it is? It's just a bunch of presidents' heads out.
Maybe.
They're like a ton of them.
Is that supposed to be like Easter Island?
No, it's just like presidents' heads out in the middle of like this.
That's kind of terrifying. Okay, I gotta find what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if you can find what you're talking about, that's out east. I don't know, maybe there is something, but it's crazy that what was it? The average was 145 miles for driving from McDonald's.
Yeah.
You'd
And
think it'd be closer.
It's in South Dakota.
South Dakota.
But I mean, that's average.
Wow. You'd think Montana for sure.
Kind of north of Rapid City.
Really? How far does it say?
From
the town to
145 miles to the nearest one.
No, like for that town.
To where?
To McDonald's. Like, what's in the United States? What town is the farthest away from McDonald's?
Yeah,
that's the town.
Glad Valley and Meadow.
What? How far?
145.
Well, I thought that was the average for.
No, that's the farthest.
What's the average?
Oh, average
for the United. I thought that's what he was talking about. Isn't that what we were talking about before? We were talking about.
You wanted the farthest.
No, I want to know the average distance to a McDonald's from someone's house in the United States. It's got to be like 50 miles. 145. There's no way.
Let me look.
Like, you know what I mean, Damon? Like, like if you were to take all the houses, all the McDonald's, like what town? Not houses, but like what town is the farthest away from McDonald's? There's got to be. It's got to be a number that is more like 50 or 60
like
miles.
how long?
Yeah, and you'd think for the same thing for Walmart, like you said, there's got to be something closer. Yep. You're not finding it, P? You want me to look it up?
Me?
No. Well,
my bad.
If you could,
anyway, so
what you find?
I found what I was talking about. It's in South Dakota. It's called President's Park, but it's closed. And from what I've seen, there's also a President's Park in Virginia, but like
that's the one that I'm thinking of.
The one in Virginia?
Yeah.
What's this one's in South Dakota. See, it's like in the middle of the woods.
Oh, it's abandoned?
Ooh. I might as well check it out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's
like,
cool.
Like in the middle of the forest.
That's pretty sweet.
So like it's extremely similar to the one that you were showing me, but it's it says in 2010 we had reports the park was closed and thinking of moving. You're just gonna haul some
really? Wow, here's a distance to McDonald's map in the United States. Holy cow. That's like all the McDonald's. It's just an orange map. I'll try to put all this stuff up for the people watching.
Yeah.
I can't
at home it's a whole solid map.
I can't find the average.
Yeah, I can't find the average either. But I'm just gonna go out there and make a guess, and I've been wrong a lot here tonight, obviously with my guesses. But I'm just gonna say like 50 or 60 miles. Pretty much every town. And you know what else every small town has? This is another thing I was gonna bring up. Every small town has a Dollar General now.
I was gonna say Subway.
They are that too. They're growing.
How about
like
over the United States or just in the
United States? Yeah,
United States?
Yeah. They are growing like crazy. Small towns in the Midwest, down south, out east, pretty much everywhere. Their Dollar Generals are popping up like crazy, and like these dollar stores, Family Dollar. I know Dollar Tree's doing really good right now. I don't know why. You'd think that maybe people are just trying to be more cheap. I don't know. But how many Dollar Generals are there, Pete? You know, what are you looking at? So, like,
Peter's working so
hard.
Make
Peter work over here, yeah.
What am I looking at?
How many Dollar Generals are there in the United States? Because I just watched a documentary about how Dollar General is like growing like crazy right now, just like making a ton of money, getting a lot of people. I don't know why everyone's deciding to go to Dollar General right now, but it just doesn't seem like
it's a nice store.
If you can get necessities and you don't have to drive half hour to town.
What do you think about Walmart coming into like a smaller town and closing all the local businesses, you know?
I don't think I mean, I guess it would depend on how small of a town, but I mean, think of somewhere like, Wyndham, for instance. If they were to come in, I really don't know how well it would do, to be completely honest. I mean, I think that as far as grocery goes, it would probably make Hy-Vee bring their prices down just because they have no competition right now.
Oh, we definitely need competition, yeah.
Yeah, because no one's going to drive anywhere else to get it.
Yep.
That's why they go to small towns like Lakefield.
Oh, yeah. What did you find?
But then you have Maynard's. 15,000.
Wow.
What's that number for?
Dollar General. Dollar General, does it have like
I never thought it'd be that big.
Year by year, and it's growing like crazy.
In 2007, it had 8,000.
Oh, That is huge.
Well, Walmart, like they won't build if they have one. We're in Wyndham, so there's one in Spirit Lake and there's one in Worthington.
Yep.
So they won't build within 30 miles of themselves.
In Fairmont.
In Fairmont. And
Blue Earth used to have one, which is crazy. Blue Earth is this town
close?
Smaller than Wyndham. It closed. Now it's a bomb garage. It was tiny, yeah.
Fairmont and Blue Earth are like pretty
15.
close to each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 15 miles.
That's
probably part of it.
Redwood Falls has one, and Redwood Falls isn't that big. That's like, what, 5,000, 6,000 people?
Redwood? I don't know. I thought it was pretty big.
No, I thought Redwood Falls was pretty small.
It's slightly bigger than us, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just 6,000 people.
I say they won't. They could change their mind down the road.
True.
Yeah. Stuff that happens, but now they don't. So
I don't think that Wyndham would ever get a Walmart. Or, I mean, and I know, like...
Because I know people drive that 30 miles, they'll hit that Target range. And
well... Target is one that they will not open up unless the town has like 30,000 or 40,000 people. Like, it's gotta be a bigger town.
Yeah.
Walmart hits smaller towns sometimes, like clearly Worthington's smaller, 10,000 people. Fairmont, Target would never even think about that. There was a Target in New Ulm though.
Really?
Yep. There was right by Burger King. There was a Target in New Ulm, and New Ulm is what, 11,000 people, 12,000, up maybe 15. I don't know. I can't see them. I do think though Hy-Vee and Wyndham needs some competition though. I think another grocery store coming in would definitely
13,000
for what?
New Ulm population.
13,000.
A grocery store run on like one of the smallest margins for profits that like they advertise, to get those cheap food, but when you go in there, a lot of times they're actually losing money when you're buying that stuff. They're in hopes that you'll buy something else like while you're there, so they can get their profit margin up a little bit. So. But yeah, either competition or a bigger store if you need to feed more people, if they're running out of things and whatnot. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and we
for any community, not just Wyndham.
Yeah, and I kind of brought it up earlier. I was talking about that life or whatever, like what we're living in is a simulation right now. I kind of brought that up, and then we got an Elon Musk, and then we got to start talking about Jeff Bezos. Place. Yeah, but to go back.
Oh God, yeah, we got off.
Can you imagine going into a grocery store like in the 50s and 60s and like you didn't have all these choices and you like complain that you got your milk, you got your eggs, you got your bread, you got your butter,
for
cigarettes.
Cheap.
Yeah, your cigarettes.
Yep, exactly.
Your kids are buying their cigarettes because they didn't know how bad it was for them.
Yeah.
And now you go down the cereal and there's like 1,000 cereal boxes with cartoon characters on them.
Yep.
True.
Well, everything's changed so much, and I don't even know where I was going with the life's a simulation thing, but
sorry.
I don't even know how I brought that up, what we were talking about before that I brought it up, but I think it was Elon Musk that was the one that was really behind. He was one of the people that was saying that life is a simulation, which I mean, I'm not for it or whatever, but I'm just saying to think about that everything we're doing is planned out and everything in the world is like, it's kind of like the one movie with Jim Carrey.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I've never heard him say that.
Oh, yeah.
The Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Classic. Yeah. It's kind of like that. But
I mean, I guess it could be if that's your mindset and that like you're going to rely on technology and put chips in your hands and like that's how you live is like in this world, but some of us still have our little slice that's in real life, I mean, not get on a soapbox or anything, but I mean, it depends on how you want to live. Like,
No, I don't believe it at all. I just think it's an interesting thing that someone would actually, kind of like people think the earth is flat, kind of another one of those theories you're like, interesting, where do you get your backing for that? That could be, I'd love to talk to somebody.
The moon's a frisbee.
Yeah. They think the moon's projected up there is apparently what it is. There's a guy in Wyndham who thinks that the earth is flat, and I'd love to talk to him.
I love how we always get into we always do conspiracy theories. Like they come up somehow.
Oh, they always come up, yeah. And it's just like, to me, they think that there's a giant iceberg going around because the earth is a big disc or whatever, there's a giant iceberg going around, and if you try to go out there, the government will come get you.
Do you think people were taught that? Like when we go back to what you're taught and what you believe and how you don't want to do research and believe otherwise.
Where are they going to school?
Right.
Clown University? Like, who would teach that? And the people who, I don't want to make anyone pissed off or whatever, if anyone out there actually thinks the earth is flat. I do have a friend from the cities who thinks the earth is flat too, and I've argued with him about it before. But they don't believe that NASA's real, that any of the pictures of the earth from space are real, that we never went to the moon.
How do you feel about the moon? You made a comment last show, I think, about going to the moon. Did we kind of talk about that?
We did talk about that one episode. And my feelings about the moon thing have changed a lot, and I feel I don't want to make anyone like,
because you looked at it from a filmmaker's perspective too, right? Like
and I've seen evidence where they fake stuff. Like I've seen proof where the astronauts were doing stuff and they were talking about doing it before they started filming, and people have the raw footage. You can go back and go, all right, go there and line this up. The most compelling evidence I saw is when they were in the spaceship, like the thing, the little, not the, like, because it goes up and then it separates or whatever. They're in the little, whatever it's called. Someone couldn't come up with the name. I don't know what it is. Capsule. Yeah, the pod or whatever. They're in there and they're above the Earth. Like, you can see the Earth but it takes up the whole view. Like, they have the circle mirror, the circle window. It takes up the whole thing. Like, they're not that far out. And so what they do is they have a cardboard cutout, and in the video you can see them put it up to the window so that it looks like the Earth is that big. But they're actually, you can see them put it over the window. So they're like, wow, we're way out here. We're 10,000 miles out, whatever. And I don't know why they had to do that. Yeah. Like, it's weird to me that you'd have to fake that.
Well, they raced. I'm not going to go. I won't sit on the fence. I won't go either way, though, because there was such a race to get to the moon. And you'd think, like, other countries, if they're still doing it, people would still. I mean, I know there's a cost to it, and got there. I don't think many countries are going, been there, done that. Like, they'd still be going on it if they.
Well, how come we haven't gone back since 1984?
Right, that's what'll be curious.
Or when was it?
We haven't been back since they first landed in all those
since
times.
they first got it. Actually, it was earlier than 84. It was 70.
Way
wasn't
before.
it?
Yeah.
Or it was 60. It was 69. But they did go back a couple times after. There was 4. So. I think there was Apollo 4 was the last one or something. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting this all wrong. I'm pretty sure.
So you would hope they went, like, they're 2024 here. They're talking about going back. Oh, yeah, I think with a female astronaut too, which is a good thing. But like, they could easily fake it more now, but you think they better not even try to do anything like that nowadays, because the uproar would be huge.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm not saying that we never went to the moon. I'm saying that we
skeptical. Just skeptical.
I believe we went. I'm saying we faked stuff to show the American public that we went, because we didn't have the technology to record as much as they did.
Because there was almost like a standing camera that seemed like it was outside when they first landed on the moon.
Yeah, and people were wondering, how'd the camera get there before you guys did? And there's a lot of weird, like, there's one video, this is another weird thing. There's a video where, I've seen videos where astronauts are, like, on the ground and you can see them getting, like, jerked up. Like, there's no moon, I mean, I believe in moon gravity, obviously, but, like, you can see his leg getting pulled up behind him. And
like a puppet?
Like a string, like they're on strings, and I can't really say anything because I don't know enough about it, but all I'm saying is I believe that they fake stuff to
embellished.
Embellished it, because they did it and then they had to recreate it for the American public to show them, like, yeah, we actually did it, and here's what it looked like. We just couldn't get our footage up there. That's what I think. Because how did they get film back from the moon through the radiation? If you bring film through radiation, it's done. Coming back to Earth.
I know nothing about that.
No.
Like my only question about, like, not only, I probably think we do, but my biggest question is, that was late 60s, right?
It was 69, so around there. Yeah.
I don't see how they would have the technology or the resources to pull off something that elaborate.
Have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
I have not seen 2001.
Are we going to say Armageddon 2 times in a row? So they landed
No, I'm just going off a movie that came out before the moon landing. I'm pretty sure 2001: A Space Odyssey came out before the moon landing. No, look up when 2001: A Space Odyssey came out, Pete.
I think we have Pete here.
Yeah, the fact checker.
I love
Pete's
it. Every time we have a question.
Yeah.
What's the state with the most McDonald's?
California.
Is it California?
No.
New York.
No.
Ohio.
Texas.
Indiana.
Wisconsin.
Go south.
Illinois. South? Oh, geez. Alabama,
I already
Georgia.
said Texas. Florida.
No.
What is it? Louisiana. Arkansas, really? I should have guessed that.
5.8 per 100,000 people.
No, but look up when 2001: A Space Odyssey came out, because Stanley Kubrick was doing a spaceship movie, like an astronaut movie, like way long ago, and it looked pretty dang real. Like a lot of the effects and stuff.
Oh, you're saying they hired him, or?
There's a conspiracy theory that Stanley Kubrick was in on the moon landing stuff.
Wait, when did it come out?
Legend.
Huh?
1968.
That came out in 68?
Stanley Kubrick?
Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
The movie came out in 68. The moon landing was in 69. All I'm saying is look into it.
Sequel.
All I'm saying is look into it. And I don't want to come on here acting like I know a ton about the moon landing, because I don't. But
sorry to put you on this one.
I just want to say I've seen compelling evidence that would say that we did fake a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying why. I don't know the exact reason why, but I've heard the argument that film can't come back through the radiation. And I know you can have, like, covers and bags and stuff, but the radiation we're talking about is, like, extreme. and film is so delicate. If it gets overexposed, it's useless. You know that, Damon. So it'd be very difficult to capture it, get it into the bags without anything happening to it getting exposed at all. I don't know. That's just my theory.
Isn't there like a rover or something on Mars right now?
It just died. We talked about that with Adrian. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we talked about there was multiple. Yeah, but the one just died. But how do we even get into the argument about the moon landing
right now?
Oh, because we talked about the Earth is flat, and they said that NASA and everything was fake, and I cannot. First of all, I think that we have been to space, and we got real pictures. Obviously, I'm not denying everything. My only argument was that we faked some stuff to prove to the American public that we went to space. That was my whole argument. But the flat Earth thing's ridiculous.
And it kind of ties back together with what you've been taught in conspiracy theories and what people like to know, and you feel like you know something that other people don't know. It makes you like,
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there could have been reasons for doing stuff like covering the window and putting the cutout to, there could be stuff. I don't know. I don't know why.
They were just simulating it,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They simulated stuff. But why would you simulate if you could actually do it?
So that they know what to expect. Would be my assumption.
No, but that footage is from the actual moon landing, like when they went up.
Oh,
that's not. That's not random footage.
Mm-hmm.
That's footage from the moon landing. So that's why people are skeptical, because you can hear the astronauts talking about lining the camera up. Does this look good? You can go look this up on YouTube, and Joe Rogan keeps uploading it. It keeps getting it. A lot of the videos have been deleted, which is weird. We talked about this with the man that we can't describe, the blurry guy. Yeah. We talked about the government deleting videos and stuff.
The Men in Black. There's a new Men in Black movie coming out. I saw on
Really?
TV.
Yeah. So I think there's if the videos are getting deleted, is even more of a strange thing.
Unless they're really debunking them, but who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about some of this stuff too when none of us are too well versed in any of this conspiracy theory stuff. We're just all skeptical. Our opinions are not facts. Right. All right, we need to put that disclaimer here before. We're just kind of talking about it. We're not saying, because people were thinking that we're talking like everything we're saying is a fact. That's after we did the episode on tobacco age being raised to 21 that people were saying that we're talking like everything we're saying is a fact. This is an opinion show. It's a variety show, and we've really gone all over the place here.
Pete, sing.
Tap dance. Pete, I had one more idea here, and I told Pete I had a surprise before the podcast, and so this is my surprise, Pete. I had an idea. When I walked in this room, I'm looking around thinking of stuff. I didn't come with this idea when I took a shower, by the way, Damon. So
no. I hope you weren't thinking about Pete.
Yeah. I was not.
Yeesh.
But when I walked in here tonight, I saw the VHS tapes over there. I'm not even going to laugh about that anymore. I saw the VHS tapes in here, and I came up with an idea. I want Peter to go over, grab one of the VHS tapes, act out a scene from the movie.
Yes.
And we have to guess the movie.
Did you lose a bet?
I'm kidding. You don't have to act it out.
Oh, man. I was getting so excited.
You don't have to act, Pete.
I thought we were going to do some, whose line is this?
Yeah. Pete, you just have to go over there, grab a VHS.
Without looking, or can you look?
We can't look. He can look.
He can look.
He is going to read us the description on the back of the movie, and we have to guess what movie it is.
Yes, a game like it. We used to play games.
Okay?
I like it.
Yeah, it's just a simple one, Pete. You go over there, pick one out.
You have to not look, and we'll just look this way.
Yeah. Well, how's he going to do this with talking into the mic?
Then we'll have to
look.
Away.
He just puts it under his shirt, comes back.
Yeah, Pete, you're going to have to put it under your shirt.
Scouts on it. Sorry, I was never a scout.
Me neither.
Yeah, we're going to have to... Pete, you going over there? Oh, he's right there. Oh, I won't look, Pete. I won't look.
Well, now you're just cheating.
So this is a game I came up with. I hope it...
Yeah, we were talking about that. I like what the movie ties in.
Hope it works.
Are we buzzing in, or can we, I'll just say we think we know it? Or
yeah, we can all kind of guess.
Buzzing in. I like that idea.
All right, Pete, you got it picked out here? There's hundreds of movies over there.
Pete, you're not gonna.
I gotta find one that doesn't have the name in it.
Pete, you're not actually watching it.
Well, you don't have to. Yeah, Pete, you could just read part of the description. He has it hooked up to the VHS player over here.
All right, guys, I'm about 20 minutes in.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone's on their
here we
edge of their
goes.
seats.
Here we go.
Good enough. Okay.
Everyone at home, you can play too. If you know the movie, you can guess what it is. All right, Pete, what do you got for us?
The outrageously funny comedy hit inspired by the true story of Jamaican's first
Cool Runnings.
Oh, dang it. Right when he said Jamaican, the next word was bobsled.
Cool Runnings. I haven't seen
Down by
this
the
movie.
beach, man.
I could not think of the name
Hey,
of it.
I said I haven't seen it in a long time. John Candy. This is a classic movie.
That was kind of a Mandela. That's a good pick because a lot of people, John Candy could say was a Nelson one because
Sanka, you dead?
You think that he was alive a lot longer.
A lot of times, or yeah.
He OD'd, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or, wait, was that
heart
what it
attack?
was? Heart attack or something. I thought it was OD. He actually, it was on the set. Oh, maybe that was who plays Tommy Boy?
Oh, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley. He was
peace,
actually he actually died on the set of a movie. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Canadian. No, that was John Candy. Canadian make. No.
One of them died on the set of a movie?
Yeah.
Wasn't that on it? Never mind.
One of them died on the set. I don't remember which one it was. So Pete, very good.
Good job.
Good job.
That's
Pete.
a fun game.
Who got it right? Damon right away.
Yeah.
Well,
round of applause here for Damon. Great work.
I didn't say it. I couldn't get the name.
That was quick. That was crazy quick. Dang. We'll have to do another one next week if we're back here. Thank you, everyone, for watching, guys. Thank you very much. We talked about literally a lot of random stuff on this episode. We just jumped around, so you're really going to be filled in with a lot.
None of us knew what we were coming into.
Yeah, you're going to be filled in with a lot of information. It could be useless, could be useful. You never know, and you might need it for your daily life. You might just come up with something and think of something. You're like, dang, I learned that on the show. Maybe now you can know about the movie Pete described.
He put it in his bag.
So everyone, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you share, comment, retweet, subscribe, like, give us a review if you liked it. If you didn't like it, still give us a review because we appreciate hearing from everybody. If you have any future suggestions for topics or people, we're always open to that as well. We'll be back next week as usual. Not sure with who. Hopefully somebody interesting. And hopefully we get the whole crew back together for another great episode of the podcast.
Yep.
This is the Eve Claire Podcast Show. Thank you very much for watching.